All right, guys, welcome back into the first NBA DFS video. Got a preseason slate here for you. It is going to be a smaller three-game slate. I thought it'd be easier to, start off with a simple slate here. Preseason DFS, you really have to get down into the news, which is something I like to do. I like the research process of NBA DFS, so nothing better than that with preseason. I mean, that's the best that you get. I mean, this is where it pays off the most. So I'm excited for this one. Let's get into the picks for today. So starting off, we can look at the Boston Celtics versus the 76ers here. We'll be starting off on the Boston side of the ball. So it does look like Kemba Walker's going to be out. And then we kind of got to figure out what the point guard situation is. I kind of think it's going to be more of a pump play. I could see them trying to get Jeff Teague acclimated to the system in the game time feel. I could see that happening. I can also see them trying to get their rookies involved, whether it's him or whether it's Naismith there. I don't mind it. We know Carson Edwards is a guy that can go out and score pretty much at will with him. He's a guy that I think could have a big game today. Really, it's just all about figuring out the minutes, though, and it's tough to project the minutes for those guys. Now, I do really like Grant Williams here. He's a guy that played better in the playoff bubble rather than he did kind of throughout the whole season. He's a guy that, is kind of poised for a breakout, a guy that should be able to take the next step this year. I could see the Celtics wanting to see that from him today as well. Robert Williams is a guy that I think should get a decent amount of run today. He's a guy that I don't mind. He's right around a point per minute player. So if he gets right around, 20 minutes, I could see him scoring around 20 DK points. Part of the reason is that it looks like they're going to be without both their centers here, which obviously then Robert Williams and Taco Fall become pretty much elite plays. We know Taco Fall, I mean, the dude averaged 1.6 DK points per minute. So if you just give him like 20 minutes here, he's probably going to score right around 30 DK points. So I really think he's going to be a strong play, and I actually do really like Robert Williams there. I'll move on to the Sixers side of the ball. So the Sixers side of the ball, there wasn't much that I liked. Not enough information out there when I was doing my research process. Now, Ben Simmons is pretty cheap. We know he could go off and have a solid day, even with limited minutes. Same thing for someone like Joel Embiid. Just trying to figure out what's going to happen. Look, Kyle Quinn, all he needs is like 10 minutes to get 20 DK points as well. We don't have a good feel for this just yet. Maybe later on in the day we will, but I don't mind Seth Curry here. I think they're going to try to get him used to the system. A lot of pick and rolls that are going to set him free to be able to shoot up a couple 3-point attempts. Obviously, if he gets hot, he could have a decent day. I actually don't mind Shake Milton here. They're kind of expecting him to play with a little bit more aggression. I think today will be a good day for him to kind of test that out to see if he's going to be a player that they can count on. He is poised to kind of be their sixth man and, kind of come in and start in relief if he needs to. All right, moving on into the next game. We got the San Antonio Spurs versus the Houston Rockets. Now, both of these teams have played a game so far this year in preseason, which does help. Okay, so the Rockets have played 2 games. The only difference with the Rockets here is that James Harden is expected to play. So what can we expect from John Wall, who really had played well in the preseason thus far? He had seen over 20 DK points in 2 games thus far. I think we could still play him. It's just we know that James Harden, if he gets right around 20 minutes, which is what the starters have been seeing, he's going to have a good game. We know that. That's pretty much a given. So you could play James Harden and John Wall and kind of feel good about it, I think. One surprising factor here is that DeMarcus Cousins has looked pretty good as well. He's been getting used a ton. I think a lot of that's due to Christian Wood and just trying to get him used to, the system, and also just trying to get him back into that NBA shape. He's only played like right around 17 to 20 minutes the first 2 games, but he's been able to put up 20 DK points in both games there. So I like him as a play. And then also Bruno here, not a bad play. He's a guy that saw 20 plus minutes and then 30 plus minutes. So he's averaging 25 minutes per game. And anytime in NBA DFS, if we can get a guy that's, getting those amount of minutes, 25 minutes, especially in preseason DFS, we love that. So I think he's going to be a strong play today as well. You can put him in your player pools. Moving on to the Spurs side of the ball. So the Spurs are a little bit difficult. They have 4 of their young guns out today. So the starters will be playing a decent amount, it seems like. So I do like DeJounte Murray here a decent amount. He's a guy that, he's a strong player. We know that. Honestly, if he gets right around 25 minutes, I see him scoring right around 30 DK points tonight in this situation. Now, if he doesn't do it, I think it'll be Lonnie Walker. It was kind of surprising that the Spurs didn't choose to use their rookie or younger assets on their team in their first preseason game. That was surprising. I don't know if we can expect that again. I would expect Lonnie Walker to get some run. It is risky. I think you're choosing between either one or the other there. And then moving on, they actually did like Devin here, who, he played a decent amount of minutes. I don't mind him as a play. He's a guy that it works. If it's going to be more of the backups playing today, he's going to be a player that should have a good game. All right, and now moving on to the last game. So it is pretty interesting. The Kings have actually played their starters over 20 minutes the last two games. We got to wait and see kind of if that's going to happen again for them. But I could see that happening again. And if that does, you should pretty much just load up one lineup with all the Kings starters, knowing that you're going to get a decent base floor of DK points tonight with those guys, then figuring out the rest from there. I think if you're doing like 3 lineups, you at least have to have one of those. So if not, it will be a little bit of, I'm not even going to butcher his name. This is one where I have to hear it first, but he saw 30 minutes in their last game, played well. He saw 20 minutes in their first game. Obviously, we really like the minutes there, so he's going to be a guy that I think we can turn to again today. If it's not going to be the King starters today, then I would expect someone like Kyle Guy, who had a good game last night out. I expect him to have a solid showing in this preseason game as well. Once again, that's only going to be if the starters are not going to be playing. Somewhat of a safe play, I think, is actually going to be Glenn Robinson with Jabari Parker out. He saw a little bit more usage, which was a little bit surprising. He's a guy where we know he can go out and get hot. He's a guy that typically does pat the stat sheet as well. Don't mind him as a play. And then the Golden State side of the ball, not much that I love here. Really just for me, it's going to be Kelly Oubre and also Kevin Looney. We just don't have enough information elsewise. So, this is a strong build, strong start so far. You guys can figure out where you want to go from here. For now, I'm going to put De'Aaron Fox in there, unless we get word that some of the starters are going to sit on the Kings side of the ball. And then you can really throw in whoever you want in there, whether it's Jason Tatum. I'm fine with that. That works. This is a day where you can be happy leaving some salary left over on the board. All right, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a like and subscribe. I do appreciate that. Let's have a good day today, and let's keep cashing. All right, thanks, guys.